let me know if you see anything that says live on Facebook.
You betcha.
Hooray. And we are finally live. I am so sorry I had trouble with my technology, but we are live streaming. Finally. I am here with Kat. Kat is, she was my coach at a Collaborate event, and she's very good at what she does. That's why I wanted her on the show. It is 7 a.m. for her in the morning. So I really appreciate her sharing her time, her energy, her knowledge with us. And I want her to tell us about an event that's coming up for her. But first, Kat, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked to be here because virtual events, summits, and really whatever strategy is driving your business is my jam. I love nerding out on it. And tools is just like a cherry on top. Like, don't get me started on all the tools that we can dive into. And I know Erica and I were just talking for the last 15 minutes about the new deals that we found, the new tools that we're using in our business. So a little bit about me. I am a business strategist by trade. I've been in business for a very long time, but it's really irrelevant compared to the experiences of me starting businesses and closing businesses because some of them failed, and selling businesses. So this is not my first business, and it's not even the second one. It's my fifth one. And so I have tremendous experience starting a business and growing it past that 100K mark. And that's really where my zone of genius is helping people get from that idea of something that they want to do to getting it to 100K. The 100K, to me, the significance is this is really where you start, or I should say, this is really where you stop worrying about bills and paying the bills and whether your business is actually working and whether you will be able to pay for your mortgage next month, right? So that's what it created for me in my life. And I just want to help as many people as possible create that as well, is creating that freedom of having a great revenue stream, having a business that creates impact, but also just living a carefree life where you have time freedom, financial freedom, and the location freedom for those of you who love traveling like me.
I love traveling. Just a little scared, and I haven't been to many places that doesn't need a car.
Right.
But please tell us, how did you get started with this latest business venture?
Oh gosh, it all started from a stage swap. So for those of you who are not familiar with the term, a stage swap is when two people who host events or any kind of really gatherings, right? They say, hey, come to my event and speak at my event, and I want to speak at your event instead. So you literally swap the stages so you can build your audience even more. For me, that stage swap happened was now my business partner, Kimberly Carson Richards. And that was just the beginning of beautiful friendship that turned into a business venture at one of the evening fires and around the s'mores and her family, that just turned into an idea that we both really want to help people. And we had such a similar vision of what that looks like. And we had such a similar list of core values that we wanted to stick to. And for those of you who are sitting, you're like, well, I wonder what that is. Really, one of the biggest and top core values that Kim and I have is authenticity. And it is a very vague word, and it can be, but I'm going to narrow it down even more. I see a lot of influencers in the world getting to where they are by giving up their core values, by overstepping the boundaries and building their authority, although not always done in the most, how to say that, not in the most way that feels good, right? And Kim and I, we always wanted to build a business that we can stay ourselves. I can swear on the live stream if I wanted to, right? Or in my training, I can make my jokes. I can be who I am. And a little bit about me. I'm actually an immigrant from Russia that came to Canada a bajillion years ago, but I was already a 20-year-old, right? And I came here with no English. And the truth is, I started the stage that I swapped with Kim because nobody would put me on a stage before. So it just shows you the power behind creating events, the power behind putting people together, the power behind community. And there's so much that comes with it. It's cool. It will help you grow your business. And I tell you right now, it really will. But what's even cooler is finding those business friends and finding business partners and finding your people who you will grow with. And that's exciting to me.
I like that. But I'm curious to find out, how did you come up with your core values? Is it something that you've always had written down for a while? And how many of them are there?
Well, so I've taken so much personal development in the past, and I still do, and I probably will for the rest of my life. I am forever curious about myself and other people and how we work. So one of the things that I've done is taking a core value assessment. So if you ever heard of DeMartini is he's kind of brilliant when it comes to human psychology, how we work. There's a lot of things that I learned from his teachings, and one of them was identifying your core values. And the fact that core values are truly pretty close to unlimited. Like, your core values is a list of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of things. But your top core values form, it's almost like a letter, right? It's an order of priority. And so when I look at my personal core values, that order of priority is, I know it's my people, and that's always going to be at the top there. So my family, my friends, my business partner, right, is like, those are my people, is always going to be one of my priorities. And that's one of my core values. Other core value is adventure. I have a personality that gets bored fairly quickly. And so I need my adventure, whether it's traveling, whether it's finding something new to explore, to learn, to do, to train, right? In business is the same way for me, is I get bored fairly quickly. So it can't be that repetitive, boring thing that I don't enjoy. And that's part of why one of my businesses I had to close down, because it just became this dread. And I never wanted my business to be a dread. Like, that's why I quit my job. So that's what it comes to. So with core values, really, each person is going to have different. It's good to understand that your core values can change, and that's okay. In fact, they will change depending on your current situation, current challenges, current things that you're enjoying more, right? We grow, we forever change, we forever grow. And to me, doing that personal work is what helped me identify the core values, and just having conversations and forever being curious about other people is what helped me discover my business partner.
That's really good. I've heard of a word of the year that represents your year. And for this year, it was prioritized for me. But now that you say core values can be more than one, and they can change, like, I could write out a list of core values and put that on my calendar, or have like 12 bracelets. But I like the idea of that. So when you swap stages, is that when you met Kimberly, and right away you guys became business partners?
No, we just became friends first. The story behind that is I actually watched one of those chick flicks on Netflix the night before. I was swapping stages with her, and it was like the typical a girl meets other girls, they become best friends, and then they travel the world together, right? And so on and so forth. And I was like, man, I need more like women entrepreneurial friends in my life, like people who I can nerd out on business, just like Erica, you and me did before we started this live and what we're doing right now. And I was like, I need to start focusing more on building my people and finding my people and building those relationships, because I'm an ambivert, so I need extroverted as much as introverted. I need my quiet time, but I also need people. It energizes me to have my people and have my social time. And so I showed up to the event, and after the event was done, there was a bunch of us still like putting away the chairs and chatting. And they said, do you guys want to come to my place and just hang out? And so we ended up coming to my place, and we just hung out, had like, some of us had a glass of wine, some of us just hung out, right? And we had so much fun together. There was a bunch of us. We had so much fun together. that we decided that we're going to alternate the houses and do it monthly. And so this was the first one. The next one was at Kim's house. And just so happened, everybody else got busy, had something else to do. And it just ended up us. And we just chilled there. I met her husband, I met her daughter, and we made s'mores around the fire. We hung out, we talked about why we were in business. We talked about why both of us quit our jobs at very different times and reasons, but it was so interesting. We talked about like, what is it that we actually want our business to create? There's this concept that a lot of people talk about, and that's leaving legacy. And leaving legacy doesn't necessarily resonate with me in those words, but to me, it's like, what impact do I want to create in the world? And the truth is, I want more people to be able to spend more time on what they want. Mm-hmm. Like whatever that looks like. If it's you making 100K and working 4-day a week, sweet. If you want to be making your 20K and that's good for you and you just want it coming in on autopilot to your business, awesome. If you want to be traveling the world, like before pandemic happened and all that stuff, I was traveling 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a month.
Wow.
And just speaking on different stages in different cities and different countries. And I loved it. If that's what you want, sweet. Everything is possible. As one of my dear friends says, is you can have it all. So that's what I want to help people have it all. Like your business should be able to help you create the lifestyle that you desire, right? So let's help more businesses do that.
I like that.
That's what it's for.
Is that how you build your network, traveling and speaking?
I actually started locally, being an immigrant, securing stages to speak. Back then I had a web design business. I actually that's what I was encouraged to do when I was younger. And that was the diploma that I got, was a digital media design. And I opened up a web design agency. The truth behind that is getting web design clients was harder than I ever thought it would be, because it has to be business owners and my language was still a little so. And I thought it would be cool to speak on stages and introduce people to the concept of why they need a website, except nobody wanted to put an immigrant with an accent and little vocabulary on the stage. So I decided to start my own. So I started hosting events on a monthly basis here locally in my city, and I built the biggest business community in my city, to the point where companies like Lexus and Microsoft started reaching out to me, and they wanted to partner up and sponsor us, and we ended up hosting a big 300 people event with those sponsors, and it was just a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. So that was the beginning of my community, and then everything just started kind of snowballing from there, right? Where the community grew and people saw me more and more, and they knew who I am. And I had people coming up to me, even like in the stores, and being like, "You're Kat, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Sure. Who are you?" Like, "You don't know me. I'm coming to your event tomorrow." And
sounds like a great way to build communities also.
Yeah. And so I build a lot of friendships and connections that way, is hosting events and hosting like those smaller events and really literally learning how to speak.
Seriously, is that how you learned English? Just speaking on stages? And
yeah, speaking on stages, speaking to people. And after so many people correct how you say something, you kind of learn.
Growing up, I hated that. I'm dyslexic. I like to write, but I hated people correcting my English. So
I learned to love it, and I learned to love it partially because, you got to learn it, right? And I was you could say the annoying person in the room, where I would be in the conversation and they would be talking about something interesting or important or sharing about their business. And I'd be like, "What does this word mean?" And then it's always funny to watch people try to explain it, because a lot of the times you use it because but it's not like the definition. just don't think about it. So you have to like stand there and really think how to explain what this means, because to them it's just so natural. And to me, I truly just don't know what the word means.
Yeah.
And back then we didn't have, smartphones with, Google at our fingertips. I still had a flip phone back then. So gosh, I just aged myself.
Well, flip phones just came back out. So it's
okay. Yeah, that's right. They turned the smartphone into a flip phone now.
This morning, I forget that with the internet, I could talk to people all over the world. And this morning, I spoke with the lady from, I want to say China, and I had to explain what dragging your feet meant and falling off meant. And I get so ingrained in my country slang that I speak that way to everyone. And I'm like, everybody doesn't know what all that stuff means. And I'm like, oh, but
I gotta say that's the hardest part as English as second language. That's the hardest part is I forgot what the word is for it, but those phrases that people use that mean something else. And I still to this day, all of my friends laugh because I always misuse them. I either say them wrong or I literally just don't know the definition, the proper one. So I just misuse them all the time. So it's still a good joke at the parties.
Yeah. Well, creating stages, that's what you do in your business now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So how did that get started? And is that the first business that you and your partner started, was creating stages? Cool.
Yeah, so the truth is Kim and I, we started from a completely different business idea and how it looked like product wise, but eventually people just kept coming to us and saying, you're an amazing speaker, or I saw you speak, like how do you know what to talk about, and how do you put it together, and how do you find where to speak? And we saw an opportunity there. Clearly there wasn't that many people teaching it, or I should say not enough, right? And we decided we're going to start from creating a workshop that is going specifically teaching people how to put together a talk and how to find stages. And it just grew from there. Like it really did. There's so much demand. So many entrepreneurs wanted to learn that as a skill. And I mean, Erica, think about it. This is the oldest marketing skill in the world, is speaking. The oldest. It's the OG of marketing. And people still don't know about it or how to use it to grow their business, which to me, I'm just like, come on, this is the easiest. You don't need the tech. You literally just need to have a voice. I mean, I know sometimes we'll lose our voice, but you need to have your voice and you need to find somewhere to express yourself. And we live in the world where you can literally pick up your phone and express yourself. Just like we're doing right now here on this Facebook Live, right? Is like you can literally go live on just about any social media platform. But people get too much in their head. And I think having the workshops that help them work through that is the key to helping more entrepreneurs get themselves out there. It's like the really first step. Let me help you understand what to say, how to say it, right? How are you going to express yourself, and how is that going to lead to people working with you? And that was like such a demand for that Kim and I actually put together a 3-day event specifically on that, is helping people develop their talk in the way that it shows people why they should work with them.
Is that the event that's coming up? Is it this week? Because I know you have an event coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up, not this week. I think, I don't even know what date it is. It's November 15, 16, and 17. It's speakingsecretslive.com. For those of you who want to check it out. And literally the whole event it's not just an event. It's a workshop. We're actually working with you on putting together your talk, so you know exactly how to speak, what to say, how to name it, like things like that. And then we're showing you how to tap into secret audiences. So how do you find those stages that are out there right now that have audiences of hundreds, if not thousands of people that are looking for speakers just like you? And me and you both, like there's huge demand for speakers, especially right now that a lot of people went virtual, a lot of events went virtual, a lot more summits are popping up, right? It's like, how do you tap into that? And it's actually way more simple than people think. So I'm just excited to help those few selected ones who join us, help them get on stages and speak their message and impact more people.
I like that. So November 15th, a 3-day event. Can you talk about how did you come to decide on 3 days, and how did you decide on making it a workshop?
For sure. So workshop is the obvious. One of the core values that we have as a business is execution. Like we choose execution over training. Like this, you can't just watch a course and expect it, or even worse, you can't just buy a course and expect it to give you results before you even watch it or do anything about it. And guilty, I've done it. I'm a course collector. I have over 100 of them. Like I've been there, guys. I've been there. I've been there. For those of you who are watching, you're like feeling called out. It's because I'm calling you out because I'm one of you. You can't expect to buy a book and all of a sudden you know everything, right? You can't expect to buy a gym membership and have a six-pack just because you bought a gym membership. And that's the truth. That's why we decided on the workshop versus just giving training or a course. But also having focused time to work on your business works the best. And we know that from our experience and working with our clients, right? Is working on your business is some of the most valuable time that you will spend growing your business. And this is one of the times that people resist the most. And I say that truly because we all get busy. And sometimes I even wondered, like for myself, I'm like, what was I doing last week? I feel so busy. And then I look at the calendar and I was like, well, actually, I wasn't that busy. I just felt busy. But if you don't do that important work on your business, then all that busy work is not going to transpire into the impact and the income that you want. Okay. So that's why it's a workshop. Why is it 3 days? Is I'm going to tell you right now, it is impossible to put together a talk and a system to secure stages in less than that. I have not seen it done anything less than that. And I would like leave people hanging and being like, here's the strategy, now go build it. And we both know the 50 pages of notes they're going to come out with, they're going to go in a nice filing cabinet or a drawer, and it's going to sit there until they're cleaning their desk and they go like, oh yeah, this is good stuff 5 years down the road. Right? So we want to make sure people actually come out with something tangible. And that's why we put it together that way is let's spend 3 days together, work on the business, develop the tools that you need so you can come out and actually start using them. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, I must say, my 15 minutes with you in Collaborate, you gave me an amazing blueprint.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to say, you do get things done right away that you could implement. So, yeah, I know you know what you're doing. I know you have a plan for people. And if I would have got to spend more than 15 minutes with you, I probably would have had a lot more done. But I want to say and let everybody else know that you are amazing at what you do. And I hope you know that you're brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're going to have the event. It's 3 days. It's a workshop. People are going to implement the ideas and they're going to execute. What else is playing after that? Will you check up on them? Is there like some kind of accountability? Like, did you actually do what you say you're going to do when they follow through or something like that?
So being transparent, right? Transparency is another core value that we have. Is at the workshop, we will be talking about other ways to work with us. So we will talk about how you can continue working with us if that's what you want. It is not for everybody, and it's not for every stage of business. That's for sure. But again, more details are at the workshop. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, it's speakingsecretslive.com. That's where you can find out more and register for those who are ready. We don't have a follow-up after the workshop, but we are producing so much. Kim and I put out free content all the time. We're putting out smaller events that you can attend as well. There's a ton of ways to actually reach out, but during the workshop, and I think this is where a lot of people find the most value, is during the workshop, you actually do get quite a bit of time to ask us questions. So there's 3 different levels of tickets. One of the levels, inner circle level, actually does include the post-workshop time with us. So we will actually review your presentation after you complete it. So like the slides, right? And we give you feedback, as well as we will spend time with you to make sure you know the next steps. So there is a way to do it. That said, to me, attend the workshop and you will decide for yourself what you want, right? It's really, the first step doesn't change. The first step is building the talk. And this is what we do at the workshop. So, and by the way, for those of you who have a talk and you've delivered talks before, you've done speaking before, you still will find a ton of value there, because there's 2 things. Number one, will help you convert better. So if you've done speaking and you're like, I had a lot of people come to me and say it was amazing and inspiring, but they didn't take out their credit card and start paying you. I know what's wrong, and I can tell you. And for those of you who have a talk and perhaps it works, but you're not sure how to take it to the next level, we'll be going through that too. So it doesn't matter if you've spoken before on stages or not, we still have so much within the workshop to help you make it even better. Okay, so don't be afraid. This is one of the things that I see a lot is people will let 2 things stop them. Number one is fear, which you're always going to have fear come up, no matter what you do, right? It just comes up. So you need to learn how to deal with it, right? That's just how it is. And part of that is taking action. And number 2, time. Because people often will back out because they're like, oh, I can't spend 3 days. I'm going to tell you now, if you can't spend 3 days working on your business so it generates you the income that you want, how the heck are you ever going to get your business to the income that you want? Right? That's just how it is. You're going to have to spend that time regardless. It's just the decision of, do you want to do the busy work, or do you want to do the work on your business so you can use those tools for years and years to come? That's the only difference. So, yeah.
So now I want to ask, how do you get people to come to your events? I know you guys have an amazing Facebook group, and I joined your amazing Facebook group because I knew you and I already knew that you were amazing. So in the group, I see that Kimberly posts really great, actionable or engaging posts. So that's why I interact. But how do you think people, or why do you think people come to your group and then come to your events?
So the group is, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. How about that? Honesty is part of my core values. I think people come to the group to promote themselves, which is awesome. You can promote yourself daily in our group. We have opportunities because we do value the business that you create. So you can join our group to promote yourself. So that's the first reason. But once they join, they find that there's so much more. And that's the truth, is they probably join because they want to promote themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they find the great community and the training behind it, which is really a bonus here, right? Why do they choose to attend the event after? We have so many different testimonials and messages and people messaging us after the event as well, telling us that they just love our authenticity, and they love that we only teach things that we have done. So I'm never going to teach you something I read in the book or took a course on. I'm only going to teach you things that I was like, I learned this strategy. I did it myself. Here's my results. My clients did it. Here's their results. And now I'm going to show you how to do it. So it's only proven strategy. It's not something I took a course on. And I think that makes a big difference, because we can truly show them what worked, what didn't work, where did we totally flop, right? And where it truly helped us thrive in the business. And Kim and I built our business pretty quickly. So we're just excited to share with more people on how to do that, right? It doesn't have to take a long time.
That's good. So do you pick people to join your events or is everybody welcome? Is there some
And
kind of,
anybody can register, but I can kind of call out a few things, a few different industries that work really well. If you're a course creator, this is going to be mind blowing for you. Coach or consultant, again, those three different industries, it works really, really, really great for. That said, we had mortgage brokers and realtors and accountants and all kinds of people, event organizers. We had people who teach food, fitness, nutrition. There's so many different people. So the strategy we teach works for many industries, but it just works the fastest for coaches, consultants, and course creators.
it's really good. I was just about to ask about event organizers. I want to do coaching and host events. So
Yeah.
I want to put those two together. And that's why we have this show and I have this group, coaches host engaging in profitable virtual events. So it's nice to know that I can say, hey, everybody go hang out with Kat and Kimberly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. That'd be awesome. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Like nobody knows that yet, but so we're just kind of keeping it down low. But we're actually going to do a training also on how to grow your list from 0 to 1,000 in like 2 days.
Wow.
So
Can I
that's
put
like a
it
brand new
down?
training. We're just working on it right now. It's like this is one of our high ticket clients. This is what works for them the best. And I just finished doing a couple of video testimonials yesterday, and they were like, "You should teach it more. You should teach it at your event." And I was like, "Okay, we'll teach it at our event." So decision was made yesterday. You guys are the first people to know. And we're just starting to build that training today. So we're literally like a few days before the event, we decided we're going to over deliver and create another session that is just going to be how do you grow your list? If you're just starting out, you don't have anything, you don't have following, you don't have a list, and you just like have no idea how do you grow it fast. So we're going to show that as well. So
Yeah. Wow. That is a nice bonus.
mhm.
A lot of people, that fear or that stumbling block is building the list, and you're giving it to them in 2 days. Yep, I said it. It's amazing.
I thought so.
Yeah.
You can cut it. So I'm just as excited because I'm just like, it is truly a challenge, and I'm not going to downplay it because it's truly a challenge when you're just starting out and you're starting from nothing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stages you reach out to, they're like a lot of people in general, the question that we get in our mind is what's in it for me, right? So if you're a new entrepreneur and you just like new speaker, right? You have a new talk, reaching out to stages, a lot of the times they'll be like, what's in it for me? Are you going to promote it, right? Are you going to help me put a couple of people in the room? And if you don't have a list, it does narrow it down, right?
Mhm.
So I'm excited to take it even more to the next level and help them build that list if they're just starting from zero. That's important. It's important. And Erica, you probably run into the same, right? Like
Yeah.
even those interviewing someone who is just starting out might not be as valuable to the listeners because they're just starting out. So they don't even have those major takeaways or failures, right, that they can share. Where people who have gone through part of their journey, there's just so much more.
Yeah.
And I know I saw a couple of people you interviewed, and I was like, man, good for you that you can get those people actually in the interview. Like, that's amazing. Because it's a huge value for all those people who are in your audience, who are watching you, who are following you, who want to learn from you, is literally sitting there and dying to soak in anything they can.
Yeah. I want to help people with events. I want to help them, if they're a coach, use events to move them forward. That's why I bring people on like you to have programs like you do to help them move forward. Just let them know that there's no obstacle that is here or in front of you that you just can't ask for help. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
well, really appreciate you guys doing the event and having your groups because they are valuable and you can get a lot of use out of them. So, will you have any speakers at your event?
Now you're really going into the secrets. I don't know yet. We're in talks with a couple of speakers, and we just want to make sure that we can fit it within the curriculum without overwhelming people. So that's the biggest thing is for those of you who get really easily overwhelmed, and that used to be me. So we're working on our event in the way that serves you the best, not us, right? So we're in talks and kind of seeing some presentations to see if it will add the value versus start overwhelming people. So
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Okay. I was just about to ask, how do you pick your speakers to fit your event, or how do you know if your audience would care to hear from those speakers? But you just said it has to match. Yeah, makes sense.
It has to like add on. So it can't be something completely out of the blue or start just a whole different journey, right? It has to add to what we're already teaching. So a lot of the times when we're looking at our curriculum, we will look, is there a section, is there a topic that someone else would be better at teaching? Because as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as a coach, as a consultant, at some point you gotta realize that there will be something that's a zone of genius for you, and other people have a zone of genius for them. Right? So you need to start searching for those people who can easily replace things that you don't enjoy teaching, or that are simply not your zone of genius. It's still part of the process, but you don't have to know everything in your business. And please don't try to know everything in your business. It's impossible. There's just so much out there. Just hone in and niche down to your specific topic that you really enjoy. There's a ton of people who will step in and support you along the way. And it's true. I mean, Erica and I are in very similar industries, and we're supporting each other right now. Like, look, Erica is like, Kat, jump on. I want my audience to know about you. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? And this is what I like focusing on too. To me, there's no competition. Because the way I look at it, I'm like, perhaps Erica teaches this topic or this part of the topic way better than I do. And I want to know about that because I want to collaborate with as many people as possible. There's amazing experts out there, just incredible experts. As long as our values align and they have different zone of genius, there's no reason for us to not collaborate. I don't even care if our offers are the same, right? Just no reason. We might as well come together and serve more people. There's billions of people in the world who need your services, who need what you teach. Not all of those are your people. Not all of those are going to resonate with who you are or how you are, or an immigrant from Russia, right? Like everybody's different, or maybe not everybody's going to resonate with like short hair or whatever. And that's cool with me. This is why I have so many collaborations that I'm creating where there's always other people who can serve those audiences. Yeah. I encourage everybody to start thinking that way is there's collaborations out there that you haven't even thought about yet that can be such an incredible add-on to your event, to your speaking, to your business, to your groups, right? To your lives. So it's unlimited, really.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. My thing is tech, tools, virtual summit platforms. That's me. I'm all over that stuff, and I can automate it. Yeah, that's where I come in. But teaching others how to do how to create a course, that's not me.
I can relate. Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's good to know what you can do, but it's not your zone of genius, and that you should ask somebody else to come in and do that part. I like that. That's not even a stumbling block or a barrier for you. I like that you just know that that's something that can help you and not hinder you.
Absolutely.
I've held you up a good bit of time, so I'm going to ask you to let people know where they can reach out to you. Let us know about some of your Facebook groups or where they can hang out with you on social.
Awesome. So to connect with me on social, Facebook is my preference. So just go facebook.com/Kat Halushka. and you see my name on the screen and how to spell it. So please do connect with me, send me a message, say hi, let me know that you came from this live. I really want to connect with every single person who is here, who is listening, who has any more questions, really. For those who are ready to register for an event and spend 3 days together working on your business, putting together the talk, securing stages, then go to speakingsecretslive.com and you can grab your ticket there. And I'm excited to work with you as well.
And I will put that link in the comments. Oh, thank you for your time, Kat. I really do appreciate you sharing your time and knowledge with us.
Awesome. Thank you so